Welcome to my humble abode of historical inquiry, dear listeners, where we embark on a fascinating journey through the annals of time. Today, we find ourselves enthralled by the captivating tale of the Carthaginians, a civilization that once flourished in the Mediterranean, leaving an indelible mark on the course of Western history. As we delve into the earliest history of this remarkable people, let us transport ourselves to the sun-kissed shores of North Africa, where the city of Carthage rose to prominence in the 9th century BCE. Founded by Phoenician settlers from the eastern Mediterranean, Carthage quickly evolved into a thriving metropolis. Its strategic location on a peninsula in modern-day Tunisia, allowing it to control the flow of trade between the eastern and western basins of the Mediterranean. As we wander through the ancient streets of Carthage, we find ourselves surrounded by the vibrant sounds and smells of a bustling commercial center, where merchants from all corners of the known world gathered to exchange goods and stories. One of the key figures in Carthage's early history was Hanno the Navigator, who, in the 5th century BCE, led an audacious expedition along the west coast of Africa, establishing trade routes and founding colonies as far south as modern-day Sierra Leone. This remarkable journey not only expanded Carthage's economic influence, but also marked the beginning of a long period of exploration and conquest that would shape the city's destiny. As we follow in Hanno's footsteps, we find ourselves navigating the treacherous waters of the Atlantic, where the intrepid navigator and his crew encountered exotic lands, unfamiliar cultures, and untold riches. Another crucial figure in Carthage's early history was Hamilcar Barca, a skilled military commander who, during the First Punic War, led the Carthaginian forces against Rome. Although ultimately defeated, Hamilcar's strategic genius and unwavering determination would inspire his son, Hannibal, to pursue a similar path of conquest. The Barca family would play a pivotal role in shaping Carthage's military fortunes, and their legacy would be felt for generations to come. As we explore the earliest history of the Carthaginians, we find ourselves immersed in a world of vibrant cultural exchange, where Phoenician, African, and Mediterranean influences blended together to create a unique and formidable civilization. From the majestic temples dedicated to the worship of Baal and Tanit, to the intricate networks of trade routes that span the known world, we discover a people who were driven by an insatiable curiosity, a passion for exploration, and an unwavering commitment to their city-state. And so, dear listeners, as we conclude our examination of the earliest history of the Carthaginians, we find ourselves poised on the threshold of a new era, one that would be marked by great upheaval and transformation. The stage is now set for the dramatic events that would unfold in the centuries to come, as Carthage rose to become one of the dominant powers of the Mediterranean. Join me next time as we delve into the most pivotal moments of Carthaginian history and discover the triumphs and tragedies that shaped the destiny of this fascinating civilization. Welcome back to our journey through the annals of Carthaginian history, dear listeners. As we transition from the earliest days of this remarkable civilization, we find ourselves entering a period of unparalleled growth and prosperity, where the city of Carthage rose to become one of the dominant powers of the Mediterranean. This was an era marked by great achievements, stunning architectural feats, and a thirst for exploration that would take the Carthaginians to the farthest reaches of the known world. At the heart of this golden age was the remarkable figure of Hamilcar Barca, whose strategic genius and unwavering determination inspired a new generation of Carthaginian leaders. His son, Hannibal, would go on to become one of the most legendary military commanders in history, leading his armies to victory against seemingly insurmountable odds. As we follow in Hannibal's footsteps, we find ourselves traversing the treacherous mountain passes of the Alps, where he led his war elephants and troops in a daring invasion of Italy. But Carthage's greatness was not solely built on military conquest. The city was also a hub of commerce and innovation, where merchants and traders from all corners of the Mediterranean gathered to exchange goods and ideas. The Carthaginians were master shipbuilders, and their vessels sailed to every corner of the known world, establishing trade routes and founding colonies that would shape the course of Western history. As we wander through the bustling ports of Carthage, we find ourselves surrounded by the sights and sounds of a thriving commercial center, where the smell of fresh spices and exotic goods filled the air. One of the most remarkable examples of Carthaginian ingenuity was the construction of the magnificent harbor of Carthage, with its intricate system of canals, docks, and warehouses. This marvel of engineering was the hub of the city's commercial activity, where ships from all over the Mediterranean came to unload their cargo and take on new goods. As we explore the ancient streets of Carthage, we find ourselves in awe of the stunning architecture that surrounded us, from the majestic temples dedicated to the worship of Baal and Tanit, to the beautiful public gardens and fountains that dotted the city. As the Roman statesman Cato the Elder once said, "Carthago delenda est, Carthage must be destroyed." The Carthaginians were a people driven by an insatiable curiosity, a passion for exploration, and an unwavering commitment to their city-state. And so, dear listeners, as we conclude our examination of the Golden Age of Carthage, we find ourselves poised on the threshold of a new era, one that would be marked by great challenges and ultimate decline. The stage is now set for the dramatic events that would unfold in the centuries to come, as Carthage faced off against its greatest rival, Rome, in a struggle that would shape the course of Western history. Join me next time as we delve into the final chapter of Carthaginian history and discover the lasting legacy of this fascinating civilization. Welcome back to our journey through the annals of Carthaginian history, dear listeners. As we transition from the era of unparalleled growth and prosperity, we find ourselves entering a period of great challenges and ultimate decline. The city of Carthage, once one of the dominant powers of the Mediterranean, would soon face off against its greatest rival, Rome, in a struggle that would shape the course of Western history. At the heart of this final chapter was the Third Punic War, a conflict that would ultimately lead to the downfall of Carthage. The war began in 149 BCE, when Rome, fearful of Carthage's growing power and influence, launched a surprise attack on the city. Despite being vastly outnumbered, the Carthaginians fought valiantly, but they were no match for the might of the Roman legions. In 146 BCE, after a brutal and devastating siege, Carthage fell to the Romans, and the city was razed to the ground. The destruction of Carthage was not just a physical one. It also marked the end of a unique and fascinating civilization. The Carthaginians, with their blend of Phoenician, African, and Mediterranean influences, had created a distinct culture that was characterized by its tolerance, curiosity, and love of learning. As the Roman historian Polybius once said, the Carthaginians were a people who were driven by a passion for commerce, a love of gain, and a desire for glory. Despite their ultimate decline, the legacy of the Carthaginians lived on. The city of Carthage was rebuilt by the Romans, and it became an important center of trade and culture in the ancient world. The Carthaginian system of government, which was based on a complex network of alliances and treaties, would also influence the development of international relations in the centuries to come. One of the most lasting legacies of the Carthaginians, however, was their contribution to the development of navigation and exploration. The Carthaginians were master shipbuilders, and their vessels sailed to every corner of the known world, establishing trade routes and founding colonies that would shape the course of Western history. As the Greek historian Herodotus once said, the Carthaginians were a people who were driven by an insatiable curiosity, a passion for exploration, and a desire to discover new lands and new peoples. As we conclude our examination of the final chapter of Carthaginian history, we find ourselves reflecting on the triumphs and tragedies of this fascinating civilization. From the majestic temples dedicated to the worship of Baal and Tanit, to the intricate networks of trade routes that spanned the known world, we discover a people who were driven by an insatiable curiosity, a passion for exploration, and an unwavering commitment to their city-state. And so, dear listeners, as we bring our journey through Carthaginian history to a close, we are left with a sense of awe and wonder at the achievements of this remarkable civilization. The Carthaginians may have ultimately declined, but their legacy lives on, a testament to the power of human ingenuity, creativity, and perseverance. Join me next time as we explore new topics and discover new wonders from the ancient world. That's all for today's History with Herodotus. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, remember that to understand the present, we must first understand the past.